teaching him how to drive the monster truck, and he actually 2 weeks ago started crushing cars with it. So he's doing real well. I mean, he has a lot of fun with it. You know, he does a good job driving, and he's going to do a lot more appearances with it.
Well, that's interesting that he actually drives it, too. Now, let's talk about the truck a little bit. I know most people have like a mid or rear engine design. You guys have the power plant more toward the front. What's your reasoning for that?
Well, we kept our motors in the front because of the weight difference. A lot of trucks, we run so much horsepower that we can actually carry the front wheels over the cars. And a lot of the rear engine trucks will do up and do a tail stand because the motor's in the back. Well, our trucks, we need all the weight we can on the front wheels to keep the front wheels down. And it has its advantages, it has its disadvantages at some time, but running the front engine is definitely the way to go. I think it's, you know, the future's here, you know, the rear engine, it's okay, but it's not as competitive as the front engine.
On a track like this, too, where there's a lot of tight turns, when you've got all the weight with the engine all in the back, does that make it want to fishtail also on you? Well,
it makes it a lot harder to steer, definitely, because all your weight is in the back and not in the front. Whereas here we have all, you know, our weight is split equal, and so, you know, keeps the weight on the front wheel so we can actually turn a lot better. So this is a very difficult course here. It's going to be a difficult course to drive, and it's definitely a driving course. It's not a horsepower course, it's a driving course. And I guarantee you what happens today will definitely change a lot of drivers' minds on the different courses that we go on. Because most of the courses we go on are straight line, 2 sets of cars, 200 feet. Here, it's an obstacle course. It's fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a different course. I've never driven one this hard before, and so it's going to be interesting to see how it turns out.
Let me ask you one other thing. We've filmed it here before, and there's always been a concern of the drivers. It's very hot here. Is that a concern for you guys today? Are you running a dry block, or do you actually have a liquid cool?
Actually, we run liquid cool blocks, and still it'll run hot. The heat is terrible here. The answer is to get through the course as quick as you can. Don't waste any time. And we run a lot of fuel.
Right.
Our fuel mixture is probably double what everybody else runs. But as far as I'm concerned, fuel is power, and we want that power. And so that's why we run so much fuel. So, yeah, heat is a big factor. It's a big factor on the driver. It takes a toll on transmissions. So you got to really, you know, it's difficult. It's you know, it's a difficult thing to do.
Let me ask you this. Are there any sponsors or any other people you want to thank before we get going?
Well, I'll tell you what, we have a 4x4 shop out of Pennsylvania who supplies us with all our parts. It's, you know, Performance Automotive. We like to thank them, and we're FK Barron's out of Connecticut. And we don't really have a lot of sponsors. Basically, we do this all on our own, and, you know, with the help of WWF, they've really come on board to help us out. They really, you know, with the exposure, and it helps bring people to the, you know, to the venues. It helps bring, you know, a different crowd to see the monster truck that normally wouldn't see it. So they come here because the Rock's truck's here, or Stone Cold's truck's here. So it really helps everybody.
Well, folks, we're all glad that he is here. Calvin Carrington's going to take to the track with the Rock. He sounds charged up. Let's see what he can do. I know I'm going to be watching him, so stay tuned.
Flag going up. They're off. It sounds like the Mountaineer has it geared a little bit lower than the Rock. The Rock right now neck and neck in the outside. The Rock coming around, and they're side by side going into the side. Rock going to the inside. If he can keep this out, he looks like he's got a little bit of an advantage, folks. The Rock coming around. The Rock taking the win. The West Virginia Mountaineer on the far side, something going wrong. I tell you what, in every round, this track has taken out one truck or another. And they're off. Gary Porter, Carolina Crusher, already out in the lead with about a 2-truck lead. Let's see if he can handle these corners. That truck's sideways. Gary Porter, oh, the pure adrenaline gets 2 spots. Gary Porter, Carolina Crusher with a great lead now. The pure adrenaline getting it straightened out, seeing if he can make up some time. But Gary Porter, Carolina Crusher now on the outside. Gary Porter, I'm sure he's noticed he's got a good controllable lead. Coming down the straightaway, gonna take the cars. Final hit, Crusher showing you why he does the way he does, taking the win. Pure adrenaline hitting the cars. And Sampson with a controlling lead. Sampson putting it up in the air and has got a good lead going into the final corner. He's got to get it back under control, though. The West Virginia Mountaineer going to be able to reel him in a little bit in this final corner. But right now, Sampson still got a great lead. Sampson coming around for the final set. Sampson got it under control and headed to the finals. And your winner, Sampson. I tell you what, the power of that truck when he landed, he actually pulled the front wheels as he was shutting it down. The truck was drifting towards the wall.
Hi everybody. Here we have for the rear steering. This is the electric hydraulic pump that runs the rear steering. It runs on 24 volt to turn the rear steering from a toggle switch up in the cab, which I'll show you in just a few minutes. I'll show you how that works. But from the electric hydraulic pump here on the center of the truck, the lines run around the rear of the truck, and on the back there's hydraulic cylinders that run the rear. When I activate the pump from the inside in the toggle switch, the rear turns either way, so you can actually make a very tight turning corner with the truck. And when I get up inside, I'll show you the rear toggle switch to show you just how actual easy it is. It takes a little time to get used to, but it's actually very easy to steer the truck, and I'll show you that now. Okay, we're up here in the cab now, and now I'm going to show you just how easy it is to turn the rear steering. Here on my left hand is the toggle switch that runs the rear steering. As I turn it to the left, I'll make a left-hand turn. I turn it to the right, it'll make a right-hand turn. And if I turn on the switch up here, it'll automatically turn the rear steering back to where it's straight. And then I'll never have to worry about putting it back to where it's perfectly straight.
And as you can see, these guys are hammering down right off the bat. Carolina Crusher on the inside, Sampson on the outside. Sampson getting on it hard. Carolina Crusher trying to get it under control. As you can see, they're sliding hard. Carolina Crusher, these guys are hammered down. Sampson getting a lot of speed, trying to get it back under control. Now Carolina Crusher on the outside, going to have to really hammer down. Sampson's going to reel him in this corner, and Sampson trying to reel him in right now. Carolina Crusher, Sampson starting to get a little bit of an advantage. They're coming around for the straightaway. It's going to be a whole shot all the way down. It is Sampson with the win.
Congratulations, Gary. Nice run out here.
All right, thank you. I got a little...